The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Opening Drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
For 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Oh, yeah, they're still balling. They're still playing. Like the NIT's been going on, and but they're the Sweet 16s tonight, boys and girls, with all this coaching talk and musical chairs going on around college basketball, which it always does, by the way. It just hits a little closer to home when your guy's name is in the mix. But they're gonna go back to balling today and play some games here on the Sports Animal as the round of 16, Sweet 16, as you like to call it, in the NCAA tournament goes tonight, and it'll tip off here on the Sports Animal. First tip, 5:09, Clemson and Arizona, 5:39, San Diego State and UConn, a rematch of the national championship game from about 51 weeks ago. Good morning to you. Opening Drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, DC. How we living this morning?
Oh, what it do?
Opening day.
It
Feeling
is
good.
Well, so that's what I was. Where do I start? Do I start with opening day, or do we start with Sweet 16? Opening day is a big deal. I don't want to downplay opening day by any means, but man, I don't know. The Sweet 16 is a pretty big deal too, isn't it? What's bigger?
As much as I like the Sweet 16,
Yeah,
they have tried to make opening day a national holiday. So I lean towards opening day, but I think it's coincidence that it happens to land on the same day. But I just get so psyched for baseball.
So I remember, what's bigger to you, opening day or like Sweet 16?
I'll be watching more of the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I will too. Although during the day you could watch it. So there's my seats for the national. Last time UConn San Diego State played. Here you go, Adrian.
You got the cheap seats for that one.
Yeah, I got my way down to third row behind Nance and Dick Vitale and all those guys. That was opening too. That's a pretty good shot on my old camera. I was there the last time UConn and San Diego State played. It was a pretty special day. Aztecs are big underdogs tonight. I'll go with you if you love baseball. And I think baseball. There's something magical about opening day. There really is, and there's something magical because it means the weather's turning. Whether it's turning or not, it's turning soon. Baseball is for those of us who love baseball, and I think you do, and I think you do, and I know I do. There really is something special about baseball, and I don't watch a ton of games early in the year because there is the basketball on, and the Masters hits, and but I will watch a game here and there, and I will tune in for an inning here and there, and I'll go to the opening night tomorrow night. Opening day is special, man. It's just the turning of that page. There's baseball on every night. There's like my mom will watch for the next 6 months now. I'll call we'll call her every night, and she'll be watching the Dodgers. Dude, she just loves watching the ball game.
My wife's grandmother was like that, watched every Royals game, and so her and I would chat baseball all the time. I love that lady.
Well, she asked me about something. I'm like, Mom, I don't know. She's like, what's with the Dodgers bullpen? They just can't hold the lead. I'm like, really? Maybe they should spend some money, Mom. I don't know. I haven't watched a game in a week and a half. You didn't see last night's game? No, Mom. I got a kid I'm raising. I was at her stuff last night. No, I didn't. I did, but she's watched it like she's into it. But there is really something special. It's bigger to you. Opening, is opening day one of those days on the calendar? Because it is, right? I mean, it's to me, it's last Thursday is one of the great days. The first day of the NCAA tournament. I love me Sunday at the Masters. I just there's something about Sunday at the Masters for me. Super Sunday's just never been on my calendar for being one of those just unbelievably spectacular days. But opening day is.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Start the season. A lot of baseball played today. Kick back, have it on as you go throughout your Thursday.
Yeah. All right. Baseball news since we're there. Dodgers spent some more money yesterday. Whatever, man. It's amazing. Maybe they're just barning from Ohtani. He didn't even know. Like they're in Ohtani's account, and they don't even know. They hired a new interpreter, and they got him Kenta Maeda's old interpreter. And go, hey, we need some money for our catcher. We want to sign Will Smith to a deal. Hey, can you get into Ohtani's account and siphon $4.5 million, please?
No problem.
It can't be that damn hard, can it?
Apparently not.
How hard could it be? They extended Will Smith 10 years, $140 million. It almost seems cheap, doesn't it? $14 million a year for a pretty good catcher. It's the third highest guarantee for a catcher. Joe Mauer's got 8 for 184, and Buster Posey's 9 for 167. But it almost seems cheap. Is it lost on you that we're going to look at in the on deck circle, and at some point, Shohei Ohtani is going to be standing right next to Mookie Betts, and the back of their jerseys are going to read Ohtani Betts.
Seen that photo before.
Yeah, it's on the web, and there's a meme that I saw yesterday that said I haven't seen that photo yet, but I'm expecting it. But I saw a meme with the two of them looking at each other, and it's Ohtani. It said Ohtani. That's not go make a bet, right? It said it's Mookie. It's Mookie, not Maka. Mookie. Yeah. Right.
They're gonna have a lot of fun with that one.
I think it's easy.
Low hanging fruit, though.
Yeah. All right. You start off this morning. 2 games already postponed. Milwaukee at the Mets postponed, and Atlanta Philly postponed. So I get Angels and Baltimore at 105, and Detroit and Chicago. The Yankees play the Astros. That's a good opener. That's a good opener tonight, isn't it? What's my pitching matchup there? See, it's pretty good. All right, so you got your baseball today.
Regular season debut of Juan Soto
See?
for the Yankees, and that lineup with Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton.
I mean, if those guys can stay
Bombs.
healthy, the Rockies play Arizona. Rockies are in first place right now. Enjoy it. They win tonight, they're in first place. They
They've got
lose.
another month. They'll be on top for a month at least.
On top for a month?
Every year, JJ, am I wrong? I mean, it's like the first month of almost every season. They're up there in contention, then May hits and it's over.
Well, I already feel like they're 7 games back before they do throw on the first pitch.
They already start
That's fair.
7 games
That's
back.
really fair.
Yeah.
That's probably it's proactive. I like that.
Herman Marquez starting for them? Oh, no, he's on the IL. Who's your starting pitcher, opening day starting pitcher?
Kyle Freeland.
All right. Do they have a banner ceremony for the National League pennant? You may forget, but the Diamondbacks were in the World Series last year. It is honestly, you tell me, it almost feels like the most forgettable team that's played for a championship because it was the most improbable team that we've had play for a championship in so long in a major sport. Right? The Diamondbacks came out of freaking nowhere last year.
They did. Young squad made a run at
Diamondbacks, Rangers, Torey Lovello, and the Diamondbacks were a fun watch.
Very fun. They've got me back on board with MLB in a major way.
Yeah, but are they like kind of the most forgettable team? Who won the World Series? Oh, it was the Rangers. Who the hell they beat in the World Series? Like honestly, it was the Diamondbacks.
Because I went to NLCS, I was really dialed in. So
You were okay. Yeah, I remember you going over. That was really cool. Yeah,
and Arizona is a fun team to watch. Young players,
Look, man.
their pitching is going to be tough this year. That's a fun team to watch.
I think so too, and I think they were enjoyable last year, and just watching that whole thing go down, it was fun. So Rockies and Diamondbacks, St. Louis and the Dodgers. That's a 2:10 start our time. Giants and Padres. So you got games all day. Meanwhile, we're back at it with hoops tonight here on The Sports Animal. Clemson, Arizona goes first. San Diego State, UConn, Alabama, Carolina, and Illinois and Iowa State in the nightcap. All right, we're here for you today on college basketball on the Richard Pitino story, 505-246-0610. So I did text with Richard yesterday. I said, can you come on with us? He said, yeah. What time's your show? And he's flying today. Where's he going, Jeff? What job's he interviewing for? He might actually be taking vacation or recruiting, but he's in the air. He's going to be with us Tuesday at 8. That was the first time. He's busy tomorrow during the show. It's the first time that we were able, and I guess I could have recorded something, but I couldn't, if that makes any sense. So, but I did talk to him, and Jeff Grammer wrote a story. I talked to him via text. We didn't talk on the phone. I don't want to pretend something happened. But confirmed that he did speak to Louisville twice. One conversation was longer than the other. He calls it introductory stuff. I'm going to guess that might have been the first call. The second one, they probably got a little further into depth. He said it's not something that he reached out for. He said when you have success, people are going to come to you. It's, and that's just kind of how it is. He said he kept his players in the loop about what was going on, and now he's committed, as he was before, to moving forward and building this program and going forward. And again, I'm going to preface it, and I know yesterday we had 3 hours of phone calls yesterday, right? Which I don't want to sound condescending, but I was really impressed with the quality and the sanity of the phone calls yesterday. Does that make sense? Like the mood, the temperature. You were kind of bummed if it was going to happen, but relatively understanding, and not mad at this coach for potentially exploring an opportunity or exploring a potential opportunity that came to him at a place, where he's got history, where he won a national championship as an assistant, where his dad was coach. Oh, and by the way, was probably going to pay him $3.5 million plus a year. And that was kind of my feel where the fan base is. They still want him here. They understand if he leaves. They understand he's not going to be here forever. I think the fan base, JJ, is grateful that he's staying, at least for now, and move on. And that's kind of the fallbacks of having some success.
It's part of the game, it's the business side of it. And as much as any fan loves their program and thinks that it's the best place to be and they're a fan forever, it's not the case with coaches. There's the business side of it, and I think Richard Pitino, his honesty, he's handled this, I think, very well. We talked with Louisville and didn't go any further than that. In terms of the introductory discussions, they hired someone else, and you move on. But if you keep winning, keep finding your way into the NCAA tournament, people are going to be calling about your coach.
Yeah. I got some texts from yesterday. Let me give you the number again. 505-246-0610. That's how to get here. You can text the line that number as well. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. I didn't get to these yesterday. We were talking about what this place is, and Rudy had called in and said it's a top 20 job, and I said, who do you compare it to, right? Is it a Dayton, a Butler, whatever? Somebody said Butler ? Dayton ? Dayton has had a 6-year drought. They've had 3 coaches since 2003 with 8 appearances. Want a model of consistency at the high major level? Boise State, Utah State, VCU. 2 of those have done it through coaching changes. Well, yeah, Utah State does it every year through coaching changes. So did VCU. VCU lost last night in the quarterfinals of the NIT. Boise State's been to 3 straight NCAA tournaments. Utah State won a game of the tournament this year. I mean, is that who? First of all, Butler is not a mid-major anymore. They're in the Big East. It's a high major league. I mean, it's a power league. Dayton's got a fan base that and with all due respect, if you're going to tell me they've had a 6-year drought, you had a 10-year drought. Tell me the difference. Well, 6 and 10.
Are you talking about Dayton because of their basketball team or because the First Force played there?
I'm talking about the program. I'm talking about they play in a league that's not dissimilar to the Mountain West and the Atlantic 10. I'm talking about the fan base that rallies around that team and supports that program. I'm talking about the history that they've had of success. Yeah, they've had a 6-year drought. They're not horribly dissimilar to New Mexico. You think they are? That whole program? It's the big deal in that town. I think that those programs are similar. I don't remember exactly the context of the conversation, but yeah. All right, so Richard Pitino's staying, and now we found out basically about 9:35 yesterday, right when it started coming down, and confirmed it before we went off the air. So now what? And you move forward, and do you feel better about potentially keeping players? JT Toppin was named a finalist for the National Freshman of the Year. So we're going to get into that. Jerry Palm's going to be with us at 8:30. We'll talk to him about the tournament going on so far. His team, his alma mater, plays tomorrow. So we'll get into that. And when we come back, I want to look at the matchups tonight. Which one has there's a whole lot of chalk going on. Does chalk continue as we go through the Sweet 16 round? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for March Madness from the first four to the Final Four.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres.
They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain.
Who's that?
That's your new buddy in jail.
I'm going out, Grandma.
When are you coming home?
I'll be home late. Don't wait up, okay?
Be careful, mijito.
Love you, Grandma.
Mijito. He's a good man. Sometimes he just makes bad decisions. I tell him, mijito, cuidado. Be careful. You might hurt someone. He doesn't listen.
Until you stop, okay?
Hello. It's me.
Hi, mijo. Where are you?
Dale was drinking and driving. I need you to come and get me, okay? Please, Grandma? Can you just come and get me? Grandma?
Leave him in jail.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Sports Animal.
I got to show you this. So on the interwebs, on one of the social, on the Facebook thing. So this guy posted, a guy named Ted Mays. He lives in Pittsburgh now. He posted a I Challenge Jeff that I did with his son. Look at the hair on that guy right there. Ooh, yeah. And I'll show it to you. This has to be 20 plus years ago. I guess he found the VCR tape or something and probably plugged it in. But it's crazy, man. I showed it to my daughter last night. She just laughed. I mean, she's like, "Dad, when was that? Did you even know my mom then?" I'm like, "I don't know that I did. It was a minute ago, man. There was a life before you." Like, yeah.
It is so funny when that happens.
Well, and she wears. I found years ago in the garage. I found Sonic used to sponsor the I Challenge Jeff segment every Saturday night on Channel 7, and so she's got a couple of those T-shirts that she wears around the. She wears it to practice now and then, or she sleeps in it or whatever. And she's seen a bunch of them, but yeah, it just popped up on the interwebs yesterday, and the comments are crazy. And I'm like, yeah, I want a rematch. It was the boy was probably about probably 5, probably about the age of your guys' sons, and it was video games, and I got beat 5-4. I was bummed. I asked him, how long you been playing? He's like, oh, I said, years, like 15, 20. He says, 20 years. He's like 5.
Sure.
He's like 5 years old. And then you hear his mom in the background. Traxler, no mercy, no mercy. Oh, yeah. It's real, dude.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it just came across. All right, it's the opening drive. Jeff Sibieta, JJ Buck. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Big topic yesterday, and you're happy to have your response. I really enjoy your response. Now that you, I don't know, maybe breathe a little easier on the coaching hire, at least for now. Richard Pitino did not get the job at Louisville. They hired Pat Kelsey from College of Charleston, who, by the way, JJ, by every account, is a really good coach. I do believe, well, I don't know. Does it matter if he reached out to them or they reached out to him? I mean, does it matter? I do not blame him for 1 second for having those conversations.
I don't think it matters, but I'm someone that's wrapped my head around what happens in sports. And I'm not going to get offended that a coach dares to have a conversation with a school that's not the University of Mexico. But if you're fans, it's even if you understand it, I know there's that sense, and I think that was the majority of calls yesterday. Just like, oh man, I feel like you get something good and it's gone soon. Yeah, and it's the way the game is played. And I think for Richard Pitino, what he said yesterday about it, he's being truthful. He's not trying to say, well, wasn't interested. No, he had conversations. They didn't go anywhere. And we're back locked in 100% at New Mexico.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I actually appreciate that.
He said he talked to his players about it, let them know what was going on. And so they're in the loop. And they didn't see, this mass entry into the transfer portal because Richard Pitino talked with Louisville.
And another thing is, he's not hiding. He's going to be on with us Tuesday. He was going to come on with us this morning. His flight left at 7. And so just couldn't come on with us. But I did text with him back, and he responded, you guys, immediately. This wasn't one where, I sent him a text and I had to wait. Ding, like right away. And he and I have had some conversations and we're good. And I think the majority of you are where, hey man, like, I'm glad you're staying. He's not staying forever. And like he said to Grammer, you might not want me here forever, right? I mean, look, Nevada fans tired of Alford right now, some of them. Like they're hoping he gets the Oklahoma State job, right? You've been watching the social media, right?
It happens, and it's one where, as a fan, you can do whatever you want. It's the beauty of being a fan. You can get mad when a coach might be flirting with someone else, and then if you feel that coach is not doing a good enough job, you can tell him to kick rock. And we've been through it all with Lobo basketball. We've been through many of shows, many of mornings, the different feelings. I vividly remember the day after the Harvard game. People are saying that man, Steve Alford, should not even be allowed back in Albuquerque after that contest. So these things.
And then days later, he said, "Yeah, peace out. I'm going to UCLA," and they all the same people lost their freaking minds. I know I've asked you this a lot, DC, and in your still first full year doing this. Over the last month, you watched kind of Lobo Mania take over this town.
I have.
And I know we've had a lot of conversations about content and direction and what do people want to talk about, right? And I think nationally, NFL rules all the time, and even locally. And I've had this firm belief Lobo basketball has this passion and this fan base, and it hits different here. And I know that you kind of been a little trepidatious about that. I don't blame you. Do you have a different feel after watching the run through the conference tournament, watching the end of the season, after the Air Force? Let me give you a few benchmarks. The Air Force loss, right? The end of the season run, the Vegas run, and then yesterday's show. Do you feel differently about and you can tell me no. You can say no. I think you're wrong. I'm good with that too. But I mean, do you see where I've been coming from as far as and where this fan base is and where this town feels about Lobo basketball?
Certainly. One of the more telling things is just around town when I talk to people, there's always a caveat when we're talking sports. It's always the NFL's great, but let's talk Lobos. That's usually how sports conversations happen. And I think my eyes were actually first opened with the state basketball tournament. It kind of went same time period, of course, but something hit differently when I realized this is a multi-generational deal. Like you are born into this.
And tell your story on that, because I don't think that everybody knows that.
Well, yeah, the tournament was going on. You were out of town. You were very generous with your passes. So
easy.
I didn't say that. So no, wait, we just talking to people who had played.
They're hours.
Oh, you're right. Hours. Yeah. But talking to people who had played in the tournament like 20, 30, 40 years ago, and hearing them talk about now my kids are in it, now my grandkids are in it. I literally have never heard that. I've lived a lot of places. I've never seen a generational thing for high school sports. I thought it was amazing, to be honest.
Hey, and that's that building. And the building's a big part of it. Like coming down the ramp, the kids, you hear grown-ass men, right? JJ talk about their experience coming down the pit in a high school tournament. They're coming down the ramp of the pit, right?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to this. I don't know when we'll find out. What would Lobo basketball be without the pit? Like, would it be different? Would it hit different if they had a brand new arena? Would it be different? I think they'd still be rabid fans. The pit is something different now, and I don't know how you keep that thing modern, but yet not historical, and because the pit, and Richard says it all the time. It's one of the reasons he came here, and I mean, the place is crazy. In long term, and I don't know what long term means. What's the plans for that place? Because it is old. It is bench seating. It is cramped. The concourse there's only so much you can do. You can't hang a scoreboard from the ceiling. What do you do? But what you're talking about, the generational thing, I firmly believe it's about that building, and playing in that building is a big part of it. And then everything that goes around it fits into that pit. Could you replicate that in a new building? I don't know if you could.
No, definitely not. I would strongly suggest look at Fog Island Fieldhouse. They've been able to update while still keeping it what it is.
No. I've never been there. That's one place I do.
You got to go.
I've been to Cameron, but I've never seen it. I've been in Cameron Indoor, but I never saw a game at Duke. I've been there twice, but never seen
That's
a game.
funny. I've been there and haven't seen a game.
I know. I've been there like for summer camps were going on, walked around the place, went to their little Duke Hall of Fame, saw Curtis Beach from Albuquerque Academy, one of their Hall of Famers there. But I've never seen a game there.
No, Fog Island, you have to check it out.
Yeah.
It hits differently.
So what they do there to keep it, because
it's mostly wood indoors.
It's older than the pit.
Oh yeah, I think I want to say it was like 1896 or something like that. It's very old, but They keep it modern. They make the adjustments they need to make. I haven't been there for like 10 years, so I can't tell you what they've done. But
have you been up the club level at the Pit? Because the club level is modern, and the suites at the club level, they did modernize that. Now I don't know what you do. Like, you know, people were saying, JJ, those courtside seats, like the ones in front of you where you sit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at other places, modern arenas, you have service. You have servers coming down and bringing you food, and I just don't. There's no room. You can't do that there, right? First of all, there's nothing on that ground level. So I think they're going to have to do without that, and that's one of those upgrades for high end stuff. When you go to a new arena, you get service when you sit down in some of those seats. Well, there's just no way, right? I mean, just the way the place is built, servers going up and down with all that food. There's just nothing there. So I think they're going to have to do without some of that. But I just, you know, the building is special, but the passion for basketball in this state, and I had this conversation with Bronco Mendenhall recently. I don't see why it can't be a football and basketball state. There are places that are successful in football and basketball. Michigan, not this year in basketball, but Michigan has had success. SC and UCLA both had some success. One's considered a football school, one's considered a basketball school, right? But there's been success. You know, Ohio State has, and I mean, there's places that you can have success at both schools. But I think a passion here for basketball.
Boise State,
San Diego State's getting there. San Diego State
better
yeah.
things to say in the conversation than Michigan, USC, and UCLA.
Okay, that's fair enough. Boise State obviously is thought of as a football school, but they've been to 3 straight tournaments. San Diego State has been to bowl games, I want to say 10 of the last 12 years. Won some league championships and is back in the Sweet 16. Was in the national championship game. I think that's really good.
James Madison.
Ooh, look at the Dukes. Yeah, that's really good. Well, I mean, look at Alabama's in the Sweet 16. They play tonight. Clemson's in the Sweet 16. They play tonight. Aren't those football schools? Right? I mean,
yep.
You know, tomorrow, Houston's got a pretty good football team. Tennessee's in the Sweet 16. They're considered a football school. You can have it. You can have success in both. And we've had different levels of success. Never at the same time around here, huh? When football was going to bowl games, basketball was down. Yeah. Well, it'd be fun to have it popping. But my whole point of the conversation was just to kind of go, did you get a different appreciation over the last month? I know you knew it was there, but over the last month, did you feel it?
Absolutely. It is. It's eye-opening. I mean, you go to a new market, you have certain expectations, and you realize, like, what they say about the Pit and everything, it all matches up with the stories I heard coming into it. And now actually seeing the passion, talking to the fans, hearing what they say, it does change things.
Yeah.
There's just walking around town, you see so much more Lobo than you do NFL, MLB, NBA.
It's a Lobo town.
Yeah.
It is. All right, 505-246-0610. I know I promised you Sweet 16 stuff. I want to get into that next. Dan just sent me an email. Most OD nicknames. You can send it to Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Jeffrey and Juan Jose, that's you. Who holds the record for most OD nicknames? Astigmatism, Scott Stigler, or DeVito Carlini? I don't know the answer. I mean, the American Stigelo's got a lot of nicknames, right?
And he's got a lot of good ones.
Yeah, Stigmund Freud. Yeah, the American Stigelo. Astigmatism.
Those are all classics.
Yeah, no, there's some really, really good ones. The American Stigelo and Stigmund Freud are my two favorites, I think. Do you have a favorite for him?
Oof. There's just so much you can do with it.
I know.
Stigatron.
Yeah.
Kalani Stigtaki.
Yeah, Kalani Stigtaki was good. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. DeVito Carlini, is that your real name?
It's close.
It's actually really close. DeVito. I don't know the answer, but you better get him coming, and you better get him coming quick. All right, who do you like in the Sweet 16s? I'll get you the spreads and the times and the storylines as we hit back to hoops tonight. We're going to get in the NFL as well, and could J.J. McCarthy end up being the second quarterback off the board? That's real conversation, too. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck, and DeVito Carlini on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Logan, it's what it says on the text line. Yes, you can hang a scoreboard from the ceiling in the pit, with the support structure being an additional rib built into and above the current ceiling and or roof. Okay. I'm not going to argue with you if you're a construction guy, but I've been told over and over, you can't hang it. The ceiling won't support. You got to redo the whole roof, and it's cost prohibitive. If you're telling me you can, okay, I believe you because I'm not a construction guy on that. That's what I've been told over and over. You can't hang it. I'm not telling you need to rebuild a build. JJ, what's our long favorite conversation? We need a new arena in this town, not to replace the pit, but in addition to. That's a whole nother issue. All right, 505-246-0610. Jeff, JJ, and DC. Do you have a favorite matchup tonight in the Sweet 16? Clemson, Arizona goes at 509. Arizona's a 7.5-point favorite. Aztecs and UConn. Aztecs are getting 11.5. That goes at 539. Then the night session, 739 and 809. Alabama and Carolina. Carolina's a 4.5-point favorite. Iowa State, Illinois. It's a 1.5-point spread. Iowa State's your favorite. You got a favorite game?
I like the matchup between Illinois and Iowa State because you have the number one rated offense in Illinois and the number one rated defense in Iowa State. And if you look at the recent matchups for this, it's about 50-50. It's almost a toss-up. So it doesn't necessarily lean one way or the other when the number one offense plays the number one defense. I think that's going to be a fantastic game. And this is the NCAA tournament. The Cinderella stories, there's not one. NC State at 11. That's not Cinderella. No. That's a team that got hot in the season. ACC won their conference, playing really good basketball.
Gonzaga?
No.
It can't be because they're Gonzaga and they're only a 5?
But so while we don't necessarily have that, we do have really good basketball games and some fantastic matchups all across the board.
Aztecs getting 11.5. It's a rematch of last year's title game, and they were competitive. They were in the game, with about 5 minutes to go, and UConn pulled away. UConn is everybody's choice for the best team in this country. This is interesting, and I see nobody giving San Diego State a chance, and I understand why. I think UConn may be better than they were last year, and I don't think San Diego State's as good as they were last year. Right? Is that a fair assessment to start?
Yeah, it feels. The Aztecs looked really good at
if they could
shooting
like
against Yale.
They got a chance.
Phenomenal, but I would say that's been the most inconsistent thing with the Aztecs.
No doubt. So a couple things here. I'm a little worried about the travel. I am. And you're going to go, well, so they played Sunday. They played the last game Sunday night in Spokane. And it's not like that's a little jaunt home. That's a 2.5, 3 hour flight home. So they got home at 4 a.m, Sunday night, Monday morning, and they left on Tuesday to go back across the country to Boston. And I think that travels like that's a legitimate conversation where UConn took a little bus ride from Connecticut to Massachusetts.
For as much as UConn is acting like the NCAA committee was out to get them,
which is some of the worst
bracket.
Rhetoric. What are we talking about? With all due respect, stop. No, honestly, UConn's bracket. You mean they had to play someone? They had to play Stetson. They played a 9 seed out of the Big 12 Northwestern, and now they get San Diego State, who's a 5 seed. I mean, at some point you got to please stop. And then Illinois or Iowa State. It kind of may end up being the smoothest path. I don't think anything's easy. San Diego State, so I think the travel thing is real. So please, stop crying to me about that. When San Diego State had to go from Spokane, you had them in the latest window you could, and then the short game, instead of playing it on Friday, you turn them around on Thursday and fly them across the country. So there is that. JJ, last year in this game, it was the Sweet 16. San Diego State was in the same round as a 5 seed, I think, last year as well. They beat, if I'm not mistaken, Furman and then College of Charleston. This year, they beat UAB and Yale, right? And then they ran up against the number 1 seed in the tournament, which was Alabama. And they were about this much of an underdog. And they beat Alabama, then beat Creighton and got to the final. So that's why I won't count them out. I can't sit here and say I think San Diego State's going to beat UConn. I think it's really important for this league, again, that they're competitive tonight, don't you?
I don't think this helps Mountain West.
Not at all? Not even being there?
Well, I don't think it takes away from what it happened to other teams. Like San Diego State's established themselves. San Diego State's pulled themselves away.
So you think
from
San Diego
everyone
State's
else.
different from the Mountain West? Like Boise State was different when they were winning Fiesta Bowls. They were kind of different than everybody else at the time in the WAC and then the Mountain West. Okay.
Yes.
Like Gonzaga's different than everybody else in the West Coast Conference. So you think San Diego State has now pulled themselves away? Where
I don't think people are going to look at San Diego State and forget and stop clowning the Mountain West.
No, you're not
for
gonna
having 6 teams in and what happened in the first round.
It's interesting. I still think it's big for the Mountain West.
It's huge for the conference. Yeah. It's not. It does nothing for the national narrative for the conference.
Yeah, but if they get to the Elite Eight, if they get to like last year, the Final Four was the Big East and the Mountain West and Conference USA and the ACC. Right? I mean, at some point. But you're right. It doesn't do anything for. And now it wins people some bets. Because the over/under on Mountain West victories is 4.5, and they're at 4 right now. So if you took the over, you really want them to win tonight. I think they can be competitive.
What do you
for
think
a little while.
is?
I just think UConn's so much right now.
They are, but we also thought Auburn would have been too much. Auburn didn't even get there.
Yeah, that's right. And I thought Alabama was too much last year.
To you, what's the difference between last year's team and this year's team for the Aztecs?
So, first of all, they're not nearly as big in the front court. They don't have
Mensa.
They don't have the rim protector in Mensa, who was good, and they had Keyshawn Johnson up front. Now, Keyshawn Johnson is Jaden Ledee is somewhat in that role, and he's much better offensively than Keyshawn Johnson was. And they don't have a Matt Bradley who could score, who could get. And now he didn't have a great tournament run, but they had a guy that they could go to on the perimeter last year in Matt Bradley and run their offense. Who is creating offense? It's got to be Saunders or it's got to be Waters, and look, if they can shoot close to what they did against Yale, and that's just not who they are. They were I want to say 13 for 27 if I'm not mistaken from 3-point land, but that's why when I say I just don't think they're as good. I think Jaden Ledee is terrific, but if you're anybody, you're saying okay, I'm doubling him, maybe even tripling him. Somebody's going to have to beat me. Yeah. Somebody's going to have to make shots.
You want to make them a jump shooting team,
and Yale did that, and they made shots, right? And they ran Yale out of the gym. There's the Mensa thing at the rim. There's no rim protector, right? They don't have that big dude. They had a Guacarope to come in also. I mean, so they were deep in the front court last year with Johnson, a Rope, and Mensa. And so they could throw bodies at you. If Ledee gets in foul trouble, you're in trouble. They bring Heidi off the bench, and he's young and he's not nearly as good. And then they just don't have the guy who can get super hot like that in Bradley. So to me, I mean, that's the difference. That's why I say last year's team was probably better. Is that not fair?
No, it is fair. So I think the size advantage for the Aztecs was huge last year in the way that they want to play, the way that the Aztecs want to control games. And when you have Nathan Mensa, who's a fantastic defensive presence inside, it helped. And the difference between Alabama and UConn is a better overall team, and Alabama was just about like.
They had the top draft pick?
Yeah, they had Brandon Miller, but they were a team that was, it was just scoring and nothing else. And with UConn, is they can hit you on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, and they do, and they're big. Jeremy says 11 points, Jeff. That sounds like a bargain to me. I think UConn's going to beat your Aztecs by 20 plus, and they may. We'll see. And that's what most of the country thinks. Most of the country thinks that. All right, 505-246-0610. What does Jerry Palm think? The bracketologist and big dog over at CBS Sports. He'll be with us at 8:30. Looking forward to catching up with him and getting his thoughts on the tournament and what he has to say. When we come back, the draft is coming, and so too is J.J. McCarthy. He is climbing and climbing, and I mean, how high up the draft board will the former Michigan quarterback be? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for March Madness, from the first four to the final four.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part,
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations.
Animal. Draft's coming too. You got opening day today, baseball, holiday. Ice Tope's open tomorrow. Buy me some peanuts and crack. You get your baseball bucks? Got baseball bucks, man. I bought them when they were our sweet deal. This thing's broke. I didn't broke it. Remember that?
Yes.
Just for the record. It's broke. I got baseball bucks.
I'm envious of that. I remember when we had that sweet deal and
Yeah.
you were able to get it.
I purchased them. They went in like minutes. They were gone. They go. So now it's like the money's already spent, and I got,
got a few ice coldies coming.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get another beer. Here you go. But at least Dad, can I go get some ice cream? Yeah, here. I don't have to give my credit card.
So it seems to me that you should save the bucks for the ice cream and just credit card the beers because you can't buy those.
It feels that way, but I don't know, something about giving these little coupons for beers instead of, you know what I'm saying? Instead of because you get 2 beers, it's $28 or whatever it is, right?
It is nice handing over the coupon.
Right, just here, whatever. You don't get hit in the face.
Yeah, it definitely softens the blow.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. All right. J.J. McCarthy, the former Michigan quarterback's climbing up the boards. J.J., now he's the betting favorite to be the second quarterback selected, meaning he's expected now to go to the Commanders unless they trade, and they may trade down. Giants are scheduled to send a contingency to Ann Arbor for a private workout with J.J. McCarthy on Easter. So they'll do an Easter egg hunt, and then they'll go watch him throw footballs. They're going to bring all their kids with them and look for eggs. All right, so betting favorite, he has jumped over Daniels and May as the betting favorite for the number 2 quarterback. I've seen this before, and it doesn't work all the time. It feels so Mitchell Trubisky in some respect, right? He came out of nowhere, jumped all the way up. The Bears traded up. We got to have that dude right there. Not necessarily when there's been so many quarterbacks in the draft, too. I haven't worked him out. I haven't stared at the tape. So I got to lean on the experts whose job and whose livelihood depends on this. I'm a little queasy.
I think a lot of this is just understanding that the NFL likes J.J. McCarthy right now.
Yeah.
And he is going to get selected high. And it's what are you willing to do to get J.J. McCarthy? Because to me, it's a 2-quarterback class. It's Caleb Williams.
And you don't like Drake May very much either. Right?
And Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Drake May, that's the Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, no, that Drake May feels
right
Daniel Jones-ish to me. Yeah.
North Carolina.
Yeah. Mitchell Trubisky, yeah.
Has traits you like.
Yep.
But and this is all a projection game. You can't, no one's a finished product coming out of college. You can't just look at someone and say, well, he was a little rough here. Yeah, put him in an NFL offense, the NFL receivers. How's he going to look? And that's what they're doing with J.J. McCarthy is a big projection game. He's 21 years old. They liked his efficiency in a Michigan offense that was run first, run the ball a lot. He helped them win games. And when you look at the traits, that's the buzz with J.J. McCarthy is he checks all those boxes. He can be a solid guy. But that also doesn't scream to me that I want to use draft capital in the top 5 for just solid. And so that's what we're seeing the battle just in terms of what happens after those first 2 picks. Because to me, it's Williams and Daniels. And then May, McCarthy, who do you fall in love with? Who do you like at the workouts? And then ...
What does Washington do with the number 2 pick? And Dan Quinn, their new coach, says, I don't know, we may trade it. And you know the quarterbacks on their roster right now? Marcus Medioka and Jake Fromm.
From State Farm?
No, different Jake. He might wear khakis, but he's a totally different dude. Or maybe that is Jake from State Farm's real last name. Holy smokes, so that's their quarterback? Jake from State Farm's backing up Marcus Medioka. I mean, they've got to get a quarterback. Now, if they think they can make a haul by trading down to, I don't know, Denver, Arizona, Giants at 6.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Justin Herbert.
You like that?
I've been seeing some rumors
about
that.
So Justin Herbert goes to Washington, and then Harbaugh drafts his college quarterback at McCarthy?
It's a rumor.
Love that.
Immediately fire that man.
Love that.
Before he even coaches the NFL game.
Oh, I'd love to see that. I had not heard it, and I love it. As you were talking it through, I'm like, he sure does love him some J.J. McCarthy. Put your money where your mouth is. Put your Herbert where your mouth is. Jerry Palm's going to be with us at 8:30. We'll get through March Madness with him, his thoughts on the opening drive. He's from CBS Sports on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school.
These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Symbieta and JJ Bond.
Back at it today, both for the baseball and the hoop stickball. Sweet 16 on opening day. Wait, what? Opening day of baseball, boys and girls. There's joy in Mudville. I think some of you might understand what that means. Tomorrow night out at the ballpark here in the Burque, which is going to be the perfect day because tomorrow's going to be like 72. So what do you think, like a noonish tea time? Gives you time to go play, go back and pick up the kid and get out to the ball yard by opening pitch? I mean, is that a Friday?
That sounds like an amazing
hoe in the morning.
Pull it off.
Yeah. Can you hoe all the way across the hall like on Friday? Will you come in like if you ever leave us? Don't ever leave us. Like could Jerry Wright come in and hoe on Friday every Friday?
I think we could make that happen.
I mean that should just be part of the deal, right?
It feels like it's something that you could work into.
I don't know how you get through a Friday without a hoe anymore.
That's a really great question. I don't know.
Does Austin hoe?
Not yet.
Does he hoe?
He did it on air one time.
That's my point, man. It's never too early to start them. All right, we'll hoe tomorrow. Jerry Palm's going to be with us at 8:30, and it's opening day for baseball, and the Sweet 16's back at it. And you'll hear it here on the Sports Animal. We started at 5 o'clock tonight. All right, I want to stay on the draft stuff and football stuff. So we're talking about J.J. McCarthy maybe being up to number 2. In D.C., you got me hoping like hell the Chargers screw this up. I mean, so that's a real conversation? That they would consider sending Justin Herbert to Washington for the number 2 pick so they can get J.J. McCarthy?
It's them and the Vikings that I hear about with
what would that trade look like? Would just send Herbert straight up for the pick? If I'm Washington, aren't you doing that in a heartbeat?
Yes.
Probably, yeah. I mean, if you could go from 2 to 5, get a starting quarterback like that, and still get maybe a lineman or a top-line receiver.
Stop. I get what JJ keeps telling me is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and I think he's really good. And I still have the number 5 pick overall. Now, I understand I got to eat that contract. I got to pay him now. And that's the big piece of this. It completely sways what I'm doing with my cap, right? Because now I got a quarterback who I'm paying $50-something million a year. But I got that dude who's proven the NFL to throw to Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson and like, yes. Tell me what I'm missing.
It sounds good. I mean, that's why this rumor is heating up. The other one, though, like I said, was Vikings getting rid of the 2 first-rounders for Herbert.
I'm hearing the Giants want to maybe move up from 6.
Giants, too. That's one that popped up this morning. It doesn't surprise me, really, since they got the go-ahead to look at a quarterback.
All right, this is your beat, dude. Justin Herbert's your dude.
If Justin Herbert's available, you get him. Like, the quarterback conversation's broken in the NFL. And for us to look at a player like Justin Herbert and want to be done with him is ridiculous. And the Chargers haven't been great. Does it mean Justin Herbert's been perfect? No. If you're telling me, like, that's the guy I can build around moving forward with, you're in a great position. And that's the whole point of bringing in Jim Harbaugh is you have your franchise quarterback. Yeah, he got paid. He's locked in. Make him into that guy. Make him into the guy that was setting records. That now C.J. Stroud's probably going to go break some of those records, but those were Justin Herbert records of young quarterback in the league, first 4 seasons, what he's doing, making a ton of plays. And it's a quarterback that if I hire Jim Harbaugh and he comes in and he drafts J.J. McCarthy and trades Justin Herbert, I'm going to sit in the going, wait, what did I just do?
Well,
how did I?
Like,
that's not going to
right?
happen. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Well, like, what do we do?
So I'm going to preface this by telling you I agree with you, okay? But I'm going to try to look at the other side of it. I'm Harbaugh. I'm bringing a guy that I know, I trust, I got a relationship, and I really believe in. And all of a sudden, if I think that guy if I think that guy can compete now in the NFL, J.J. McCarthy, I got a lot of money I can spend elsewhere. I can, because I need receivers.
Next season.
Yeah, because the free agency is basically done, right?
Yeah.
Who am I throwing to? To your point, you're screaming at 5 they need a receiver, and you're right. And Marvin Harrison very well may be there at number 5. You're right. Because who is J.J. McCarthy going to throw to?
Here's the thing. We'll be handing the football off.
To who?
Gus Edwards.
Until week 3 when he's hurt.
Not Gus Edwards.
Yeah, I guess Edwards he's the only one that stays healthy. Fine. But is that why you're drafting J.J. McCarthy, to hand the ball off?
That's all he did at Michigan.
I understand that. And that's not going to win the National Football League. But that's what everybody's telling me is, well, that's all he did because that's all he had to do. That's why he's not climbing up to number 2 because he's really good at handing the ball off, dude. Right?
No. There's something that the NFL likes with J.J. McCarthy.
So obviously, it brings me back to my first point, okay? If he thinks that he can compete and be an NFL quarterback now, which is why he's rising, right? Again, he's not rising because he's really good at handing the ball off. Evidently, he's got a great arm, great acumen, can read defenses, is cerebral, knows all the route, everything a quarterback's supposed to be. He's risen above Drake May and Jaden Daniels as far as Vegas, and Vegas is usually really good at this. They're not the scouts, Jeff. I know, but they kind of know those guys. They aren't the guy, but they got a guy, if you know what I'm saying, right? That's got to be what he's thinking. And the answer, then you say, well, whatever, there's enough receivers in this draft, I'll find him a receiver. I wouldn't do it, okay? I'm trying to think from where they might be. Their receivers right now are Josh Palmer. They drafted Quentin Johnson last year high, Darius Davis, and Simi Fehoko. That's their receivers, dude. You're bringing Caleb Williams into the league, right, to the Bears, and you've set him up with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, right? Yep. And Cole, like they're setting that dude up to succeed. I'm with you. If I'm the Chargers, I keep Herbert and use 5 and go get a stud wide receiver and figure out how to make it work now. But I'm not Jim Harbaugh, and I don't know J.J. McCarthy like that.
So the first and second round pick is going to be J.J. McCarthy, and then Blake Corum, the running back of Michigan, in the second round?
I mean, hail to the victors, right? Just hail to the victors in SoFi Stadium. Like, tell me what would be more Charger than having a franchise quarterback and getting rid of him to take a
Jim Harbaugh, like, hey, we just won a national championship. bring in all these guys because we're going to win a Super Bowl.
Who's got it better than us?
Nobody.
Right? What would be more Charger than to take a franchise quarterback? And I look, as much as I give you a hard time because he's held accountable for nothing, I do think he's really good. We finally got one, but I think that guy's better because I had him in college. Now, I didn't use him in college. I handed the ball off to Blake Corum because, well, I didn't have to. That's why I was hiding him, because I knew I was going to get the Charger job, and I was hoping that he would slip down the NFL draft board so I could get him late in the draft. But now everybody's seeing how good he is. I don't know. I mean, if I'm Washington, I keep calling. All right, you guys ready to go? You ready to go? 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 We'll let Magic Johnson come to one of your games. He's on our ownership team. We'll have him come to one of your games. Well, he'll even wear a Charger jersey once. Not against us, of course, against the Rams. Ready to go? Ready to go? Ready to go? I hadn't even thought about it until you said it this morning. But that's really a conversation in the NFL circles? That's happening? Holy smokes. All right. Denver, meanwhile, Sean Payton said at the NFL's annual meeting that he views trading up in the draft as a realistic option. Whoa. It's going to be Cardinals, Monty, right now. For now, Stidham is our starter. But he did say, or he didn't say Stidham was in the top position for the job. Quote, he's definitely going to compete to be the starter. I don't think we have a term driver's seat, really, but he's going to compete for that position. I know I'm anxious and excited to do that, and I'm sure there will be other candidates that'll be competing with him, end quote. So why isn't Denver more active to get up there? Or are they?
They don't have any draft capital. And is it really worth trading this year's first, next year's first, 2s, 3s over the next 2-3 years?
Kind of done this, haven't
for
we?
Drake May, Jason McCarthy right now?
Yeah, you kind of done it, haven't you? Where do they sit? They sit at
the 12th pick.
There's a quarterback there if you want him at 12. There's a Bo Nix or a Michael Penix. I do believe that, don't you?
Yes.
Now, if you get down there, you have to decide, do I need something more than I need to take a flyer on one of these quarterbacks? And look, flyers have worked before. Lamar Jackson was the last pick of the first round, was he not? Was he not
Yes, he
pick
was.
number 32? Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl. I mean, he wasn't always this little cringy Russell Wilson washed up guy. He won a Super Bowl. He was in the third round, wasn't he? I'm pretty sure. Patrick Mahomes was what, 10th overall? Tom Brady was 6th round? I mean, I get it. It's
Tom Brady was
anomaly.
drafted like 24 years ago.
No, I get it. My point is, for every guy that you're going to show me in the first round that's really good, every 2 guys, there's one guy that was drafted somewhere not in the first round, not at the top of the first round, that's a good NFL quarterback. There just is. All right, 505-246-0610. It's you got my mind. Like, really, I had not thought about that one at all. Trade away Justin Herbert to the Chargers, question mark? What junk are those suggesting liking that smoking? That trade away would be just stupid. It's on the text line. Look, man, I think you're right, but I'd love to see, because it would be so Charger. It would be so Charger. Text line also says Stegosaurus Rex has the most nicknames. He's a legend. You're not quite legend yet? I don't know, dude. I think you're kind of legendary. Darius Carlo. Dante Cornelius.
Those are legendary.
Yeah. All right, Jerry Palm at 8:30. Be with us. We'll have a conversation with him about what is going on in the Sweet 16 and coaching rumors and all of that when we get back. What about Dak? There's no rush to get that done. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Allstate.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions.
The Baltimore thing. I don't know if I've ever said it when you've been here. JJ, what's one of the things in my life that I'm most amazed about?
Well, in a lot of engineering stuff.
Bridges. Bridges have always, because they work. No, honestly, like bridges over water, like to go down and I've always been amazed by, they work. How deep you've got to go to build. How do you go under the water and build these? I've always been amazed by bridges. I know it sounds stupid because they work. And then watching that thing come down like a house of cards. Super, super thoughts and love. I'm so tired of thoughts and prayers. I hate that so much sometimes. But thoughts and love and support to all the families and the victims. And I guess there's still a few people and bodies now missing. But to watch that thing go down, to watch that boat go out of control and run into that bridge and bring that thing down literally like a Lego set. But because honestly, bridges have always amazed me because they work.
So, and your buddy that is the keeper of the national championship trophy will definitely relate to this. When you're going to from Kenner to New Orleans, you go over Lake Pontchartrain, which is
I've done that. I've made that drive.
So I've always had to think
which is unbelievable because you're over water for about 4 miles.
It's a long stretch.
Like this isn't just you're going over a little bay, dude. You're going over Lake Pontchartrain, which is, it feels like 4 mile stretch, doesn't it? It's just all bridge. There's water on both sides.
Yeah. So seeing that, I thought about the bridge traveling I've done, and it's amazing because they work. But then you see one fall like that, and you're like, whoa.
And both, because you look at the paths that these ships have had to go through, right? And how is something not hit before, and how is it not? Just the whole engineering to it amazes me because, like you just said, because they work. I'm always amazed over those big bodies of water, how deep you've got to go down. The Golden Gate Bridge. How deep is that ocean right there? And how do you? It all is so beyond my comprehension. I know it's probably simple to engineers, right?
Well, and think about Golden Gate Bridge. They built that in the 1940s or 50s, something like that.
Yeah, no, it's insanity, dude. I think it was even before that.
Probably was actually. Yeah.
It's when if you've ever been to New York and all the bridges, George Washington Bridge, Brooklyn Bridge, all of them. There's just, you think about it all the time. Little towns. When I lived in Tri-Cities, getting from Kennewick to Pasco, and you had the Blue Bridge and the Cable Bridge, and it just bridges. They work. You don't ever think of, oh damn, that boat got out of control. Oh, what if that boat gets out of control and hits the bridge? Oh, thank goodness it was in the middle of the night and there was minimal traffic on there, and there's tragedies. But anyway, I just saw something on that. It just blows my mind. I was thinking of that last night because, I've said it so many times. I know I'm amazed by bridges because they work, and then to watch that thing just go tumbling down was bonkers to me. It was just bonkers. All right, we're talking quarterbacks. Cowboys have made it very clear publicly. They believe in Dak Prescott. He's their franchise quarterback, right? They've also indicated that they may let him play this contract out. It expires after last season. He could walk. Jerry Jones said earlier this week that quarterback, his presence this year gives Jerry the hope the Cowboys could be a contender. Well, he's willing to do everything he can to help us win. All right. They're riding a little dangerous bike here, aren't they? Letting this thing play out. And
I think for Dallas, their challenge is how much were you going to be able to attack free agency right now with CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons on there? And those are contracts that you should just figure out now. Waiting if CeeDee Lamb goes off again, which you expect him to do. No, Micah Parsons is the dude I'm looking at now. I need to see a little bit more. I need to see some more game-changing plays from you, man. I don't think of Micah Parsons right there, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt. But that's what he's referred to as.
Yes.
That's what he's talked about as.
Yes.
And so I think it's more about those guys that they know they're going to have to pay as opposed to missing out on free agency. Because if it handed out a bunch of multi-year deals now, and then you go into next season, you're even in a worse spot trying to figure out what you're doing, which is why I think I'm sure that they've already had it laid out of, all right, this is what our initial offer is going to be. But those are the guys you should be figuring out right now so you can work on what the rest of the team is going to be.
Yeah, I think that's right. They're in a tough spot with it. I mean, because you said it so many times, they've got a good quarterback. They're hard to find good quarterbacks, but is he good enough? And do you pay him, again, I'm going to go to that word, market value. And what is market value for him? And they may disagree on what it is. All right, Jerry Palm's going to be with us next. We're going to go talk to CBS Sports bracketologist, get his thoughts on what's happened in the tournament so far, some coaching stuff going on around the country. Catch up with Jerry Palm when we come back. It's springtime. That means it's tax time. So what are you going to do with your refund? How about using some of it to protect one of your largest investments? And I suggest you take part of it and call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. On the Spot Automotive Detailing, have them meet you at your convenience. That means at your office, at your home, when it works for you and where it works for you, they'll detail your vehicle. They were awarded best in the city because they will make sure they leave your car looking and feeling and smelling and looking. Did I say looking twice? Well, because you look all the time. Like it's brand new. Remember the day you took it off the lot? How fun it was. It was detailed. That's what they do. You don't have to get a new car to have that new car feel. On the Spot also has window tinting services that'll help you prep for that summer heat, which is coming. So make the move today. Visit On the Spot Automotive Detailing at otsdetailing.com. You can schedule and buy there. otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Search KNML.
Back at it tonight. They're going to hoop skip ball tonight. They're back to playing games. For a minute anyway, we can almost table the coaching carousel talks. I mean, maybe. And look at the games. You get Clemson, Arizona. It'll be here on These Sports Animals. Starts at 5:09 our time. That's the tip-off. Aztecs and UConn at 5:39. Alabama, Carolina, and Illinois, Iowa State are the late games tonight as we play the Sweet 16. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. Time to check in with our good friend from CBS Sports, who I'm going to guess, are you on the road? You're going to go watch Purdue? It's Jerry Palm from CBS Sports. Good morning, Jerry Palm. How you living?
I'm all right. How are you?
Well, life's grooving. It's been an interesting week around here. I'm not going to lie. Richard Pitino's name swirling around the Louisville thing, and I think we did straight 3 hours of phone calls yesterday. People losing their mind a little bit, although, you know, in an interesting spot. What did you think of the Louisville hire, the way that all went down?
Well, I mean, it took them a while to get there, but I think they got a good coach. You know, Pat Kelsey's had success everywhere he's been. Going to have resources to be successful where he is. So we'll see if he can, you know, put together a team that'll stick around. It's been a very transient program lately. Has not done well. He's probably walking into a pretty bare locker room, and they've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah,
and it's not, even though with the transfer portal, you know, you can do a lot to get competitive. It's going to be hard to win ACC competitive for a few years.
What did you think when you heard Richard's name around it? I mean, with the history there, he was on the bench when they won a national championship. With, you know, with success he's had here, and you know, the name. What did you think of that?
Well, it made sense to at least, you know, explore the possibility. Didn't work out, obviously, but I would have been really surprised if they didn't at least ask.
Yeah, I think they had. Well, I know they had conversations. I don't know that they ever offered. There's a couple that surprised me. I don't know what's going on at Oklahoma State, and I hear a lot of names. Steve Alford's name's around it. And then why is Andy Enfield leaving SC maybe to go to SMU?
Oh, is that a maybe still? I thought that was a definite.
Is it done now? Okay, that one makes me scratch my head a little bit.
Well, it is a power conference move.
It is now, yes.
Maybe he didn't feel like he was, you know, fitting in there, or maybe it was the situation where, you know, the rope was getting thin. They were not as successful there as I think everybody had hoped they would be. They'd had moments, of course, but it's this year's team again underachieved, and they had some injury problems. But you know, it's probably time for a fresh start for him.
I would argue they've had as much success under him as they've had under anybody else.
Well, that's true. I mean, I think that there's some truth to that. But they probably still had higher expectations. And now you're going to the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Now SMU's going to the ACC.
That's not easy either.
So, you know, he's still in a power conference and in a team that's changing conferences. But it's an interesting opportunity. You know, if they're going to be in the ACC, you know, you've got to get that thing ramped up in a hurry to be competitive.
They got money. And there's money to spend there. You know, evidently
and they got plenty of money to spend there. Yeah, and it'll be an interesting challenge, but you should have some resources to attack it.
He's Jerry Palm, CBS Sports, with us on the Sports Animal.
Well, Jerry, just like that, it is Sweet 16 time, and one of the matchups that I'm really excited about tonight, Illinois and Iowa State, the number one offense versus number one defense. What do you make of that matchup?
Yeah, it's going to be fun. You know, I've seen, obviously, both of them this year in person, and Iowa State's defense is really good. They're going to have their hands full with this team because they can spread you out or they can attack the post. Coleman Hawkins, their center, if you will, is versatile. He can play all over the floor. He's not I don't know if he's really center size, but they do have some bigs, like Dana Danja that are coming on. Marcus Damask from Southern Illinois has been a great player this year, the transfer. They just don't have a lot of flaws offensively, but Terrence Shannon Jr. is what makes that engine go. That's where the Iowa State defense has to focus. If they can limit him, make him work hard for his points, that's the path to beating Illinois. If Terrence Shannon Jr. has a big day, Iowa State's in trouble.
Of course, the winner of that one then plays the winner of UConn and San Diego State. No, it's a different Aztec team this year, but we're back to the Sweet 16. What is the biggest challenge that the Aztecs face against this UConn team?
Wow, I have to pick just one.
Right?
I'm going to say trying to match up with Donovan Clingan. He's a pretty good player. I don't know if he's playing full starter minutes yet, because the last I had seen, which was maybe a couple weeks ago, he was still only doing about 28 minutes. But
it's enough. It's enough.
Yeah, it is. But their guards are really good, too. I mean, they're just going to have their hands full. They're going to have to be, try and be as physical as they can without getting into foul trouble. That's kind of their MO anyway. But I just think that they're going to have one of those magic level games if they're going to beat UConn.
I look at this, and last time they played each other was in the national championship game. You and I were, I was with you at that game in Houston. And the Aztecs' path to getting there last year wasn't dissimilar. They played a 13 who was an upset winner. I think last year it was Furman and Charleston in that order.
Right.
This year it was UAB and Yale. And then they played the number one overall seed in the tournament last year in the round of Sweet 16. They beat Alabama. But I think this team's different because JJ asked me earlier, what's the difference? And because I don't think San Diego State's as good, and that's not taken away from a team that played the national championship. Mensa, Keyshawn Johnson, and Aguacarope last year, they were deep up front, which meant they had fouls. If Ledee gets in foul trouble, I think they're in big trouble. How do they score? If they can shoot like they did against Yale, I think they got a chance. But, man, this is a tough assignment.
Well, it's also UConn's better than Alabama last year.
Yeah.
There's just no question this UConn team is better than last year's Alabama team, which was basically, I don't say it's one guy, but, they had the
Brandon Miller.
Yeah, Brandon Miller, who was an All-American. And their style is, they spread the floor and shoot threes. They kind of live and die by the three. So if you don't have to worry about them in the post. That's still true about Alabama. But that's a different matchup. I mean, UConn is just another level above the team they played last year. And I think San Diego State is good. I think they got the same seed, didn't they? They're both 5 seeds. But I thought last year's team was a little better.
I agree.
A little deeper, like you said. And UConn is a full step ahead of last year's Alabama.
And last year they had Matt Bradley, who could score. They don't really have a true scorer this year. I want your team, Purdue, plays Gonzaga. This is so interesting to me. Because even though I thought Gonzaga was a little overseeded, I thought they were going to be like a 6, 7, 8 area and just a scary seed because I thought they were playing well. They're playing well. This may not be the best Gonzaga team ever, but they're pretty stinking good. I know they got Purdue's attention.
Well, yeah. They played them once already. Purdue's about to embark on rewinning the Maui Invitational, perhaps. Because they beat Gonzaga, Tennessee, and Marquette in that order to win the Maui Invitational.
Here we go.
And they may have to do that again to get to the NCAA championship game.
It's crazy.
And both teams are different now. Like Gonzaga doesn't even have the same starting lineup they had back then. And both teams are better now than they were then, which is typical because teams improve as the season goes on. And rotations are a little more set. So, I'm not 100% buying that Gonzaga can beat Purdue without Purdue's help. Turnovers. It's always turnovers that beats Purdue. All 4 of their losses this year were -9 average. I think -9 turnover margin. So that's the plan. Gonzaga's got to get the ball before Purdue can shoot it, because if Purdue can get shots, they're one of the most efficient offenses in the country. So if Gonzaga can't force, a high number of turnovers out of Purdue, they're going home.
Jerry Palm, CBS Sports, joining us on The Sports Animal. And you look out west, North Carolina, Alabama, Clemson, Arizona. Is this just take the over the games?
Yeah. I picked Arizona to come out of that region. I was impressed when I saw them in Indianapolis. I think they may have gotten bored at times in their league because they're so much better than everyone else. Also, they're getting their best shot because they're so much better than everyone else. But they're loaded. That's a really good team at every position on the floor. They're capable of winning the whole thing, and so I picked them to win this region. I actually picked Alabama to beat Carolina. That's a little bit more of a flyer, but because they're going to have to shoot well to do it, because they won't have an answer for Baycott. But if they can shoot well, that's a team that when their shots are falling, they're really hard to beat because they spread the floor so well and they get a lot of good looks, and it's really hard to defend. So, and then once those shots start falling, they can drive the lane because the defense is chasing more out and they've got openings to drive the lane. So if Alabama can shoot well tonight, they can win. And if they don't, they won't. That's pretty much the same way it always is for them.
Hey, can I big picture on this? The expansion conversation. I know Greg Sankey, the SEC commissioner, wants more of his teams in because I guess 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever they got wasn't enough, and we need
Well, he wants to make sure that he gets his 3-27 team in.
Right. Well, as he should, because Vanderbilt's got
Vanderbilt.
to be.
If the tournament's not big enough for Vanderbilt, it's not big enough.
Understood. Look, I've been reminded again why this is the best sporting event in our country, and it's a 3-week event. It's really good, and I thought Fran Fraschella's tweet was really good after Izzo came out with the same. We need more access because the Big Ten didn't get enough teams, and thank you. Because, having these automatic qualifiers, they have to play in the play-in games to get in the main bracket, and we're just not going to see some of the great stuff we've seen. This is one of those things, man. It's not broken. Why are we trying to break the damn tournament?
Money.
Yeah, I get it, and
yeah, that's all it is. If they expand by, first of all, let's be perfectly clear. They are not expanding for Indiana State.
That's right.
They're expanding for Indiana.
That's right.
And Indiana sucks this year.
But yet they got to get in and we need more Utah and Seton Hall, and I just look, man. The stories are that kid from freaking Oakland who was bringing me pizza a year ago, who drops 11 threes in the NCAA tournament, and we wouldn't see that if we do what they want to do.
No, and in fact, if they add, I don't know, I've heard 4 or maybe even 8 teams. If they add 8 teams, first of all, it's all going to be, those 12 games are going to be all AQs, and they're going to put a full third of the field in the play-in game.
Yeah.
But nobody they care about.
No, and then put all the last, and if you're going to do that, Fran Fraschilla said, then put the last at-larges, right? So then play Utah and Seton Hall and Dayton, and like Nevada and in Colorado State. And
they'll never do that.
But that's what they should do if they're going to.
Of course. No, hey, none of this is about should, Jeff. There's nothing here about should. What they should do is go back to 64. Yeah. They're not going to do that either. But they definitely should not expand. But this is not about should. This is about money. Money has nothing to do with should.
I know, and it's so good. And we all, you sit there every year, and were there blowouts? Yeah, there were some blowouts, and there were some great games and great stories. Yeah. And
same as every year.
And I think we're going to look back, and I've said this about college football. 5 years ago, we're going to go look back at it. What did we do to college football? And I think we're going to take something that is so, I don't want to say perfect because nothing's perfect, but it's man, it's as good as we got, and why are we trying to break it? And I understand it's money. Yeah, let's get more money.
Well,
the people who have the most.
Football is at least if you win a major conference and you're undefeated, you're going to get in the tournament now.
You're right. Yeah. All right, where are you going? You traveling?
Yeah, on my way to Detroit I was in Indy last week, Detroit this week, and then Phoenix. You going to Phoenix?
Maybe. I might see you there.
Right.
Maybe or maybe not. Yeah, of course I will. All right. I always appreciate the time. Follow him on the X. It's at JP Palm CBS. He's on CBS Sports pretty much every day, CBSSports.com, and he'll be with us next Thursday from somewhere. Always appreciate the conversation, my friend. Be well. Safe travels.
All right. Thanks.
He is Jerry Palm. He's not wrong. Why are we screwing up? And he's in our camp, right? Why are we breaking this? It's so honestly, JJ, Oakland would have played freaking Yale or Stetson, and maybe we would never have known Jake. I forgot his name already, right? But the story. But I'll never forget the story.
Golke.
Well, yeah.
Why are they doing it? Because the SEC and Big Ten can do whatever they want. They go unchecked because this college athletics was tried so long to just stay like, hey, this is pure, this is Skittles and rainbows, that it broke on them, and there's no coming back, and there's no way to slow down the SEC and Big Ten that control everything.
That's right. And that's where all the money is, and they honestly just don't care. And it's for Greg Sankey to say we don't have access, or for Tom Izzo to say we need more access. Come on, man. It's the NCAA tournament. It's not the big. You want to have a Big Ten SEC showdown? Go do it. Go do it. And people will watch. It'll be great TV ratings. But I'll say this again. The majority of us didn't go to one of those schools and do care about everybody else. Yeah, I enjoy watching those. I'm not telling you I don't. But, man, there's good stuff that's outside of those two conferences. 505-246-0610. You can get in on any of that. Good conversation with Jerry. I'm going to watch the games, and I'm not going to wear glasses when I watch the games. When I read, I will. But I had LASIK done a little over 20 years ago with Dr. Coleman, with Stephen Coleman at Coleman Vision. Changed my life for the better. I'm still glad I did it. And if you are thinking about ditching the lenses, the glasses, get over to ColemanVision.com, look at it, and go see Dr. Stephen Coleman. It's comfortable. It's a wonderful experience. It's life-changing. I mean, I don't know how many things you've done in your life that you said changed your life for the better. This absolutely did. Dr. Coleman's the best, and he has helped develop the cutting-edge technology that's used not just here but all around the world. People come from everywhere to go to Coleman Vision to get their LASIK done by Dr. Coleman because they know his reputation. So who does this? You and me. And it's look, you go into his office, there's college kids and housewives and firefighters and police officers and nurses and healthcare workers and athletes, and it's everybody. If you are thinking about ditching the lenses, go see Dr. Coleman. He'll walk you through it. He'll tell you if you're a candidate, and he'll tell you if you're not, and give you some suggestions. It changed my life, and I think it can change yours. It's all at ColemanVision.com. ColemanVision.com, or call and book an appointment 505-821-8880, 505-821-8880.
This report.
Switler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-2. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indy Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indy Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
All right, back at it tonight, Sweet 16 here on the Sports Animal, your home for March Madness. Starts at 5 o'clock, our coverage does. And then, what do you get tonight? You get Clemson, Arizona to start things off. I mean, there's not a bad one tonight. San Diego State, Lone Mountain West team still playing, period, because UNLV got run out of the NIT yesterday. But they'll play UConn, 5:39, and then Alabama, Carolina, Illinois, Iowa State. NIT quarterfinals last night in New Jersey. Boy, Seton Hall handled the Rebels. UNLV got run out of that gym 91-68. And then VCU got beat in Salt Lake City. So it's Utah and Seton Hall and Indiana State. And who's my fourth team in there? I'll tell you who it is because I forgot because they won yesterday. It is... Dang it, why am I forgetting who it was?
NIT, baby.
Georgia. They beat Ohio State 79-77. All right. Thoughts on what Jerry had to say about the expansion of the tournament? He's in the majority, but he's not in the power. So, I mean, because I think that's where most of us live. Don't expand it, or if you're going to expand it, don't take away the opportunities from these automatic qualifiers, these Oaklands, these St. Peters, these Akrons, but they're going to.
They are. And I think the first four is something that really works. I actually really enjoy the stage for the 2-16 seeds to battle it out.
Yeah. Works as currently constructed.
Yes. And it's a little bit, but it's when you add and you're like, well, this works, so let's just add a little bit more. And it's the first 8, and then it's the first 12 and the first 16. But all it's going to do is be all those, not just the 16 seeds, but it's going to take your Oaklands out of it. It's going to take, heck, you'd even take your Grand Canyon.
Look, dude, dare I say, if New Mexico State gets into a tournament, that's where they're going to be.
It would have, where they would have put the Lobos this year.
Yeah, they would have put the Lobos there, but that's where. So Western Kentucky won the Aggies League. They were a 15 seed. Yep. Pretty good chance that's where they're going to be.
Where it's trending.
I mean, the Aggies will get in the tournament, playing in Conference USA, and they could have some gaudy record like they used to in the past, right? You know, it could be 28-4, something like that. And they're going to. That's where this thing's trending. That's why I think it sucks. And I think you should still, if you want to see that, look, if you're going to add, what are you going to add? 8 more teams, 4 more games, probably? I would almost even listen to, if you're going to add 2 more of the 16s in or play 15. So 2 more games of the automatic qualifiers. So this year you add Montana State, Grambling, and Howard versus Wagner. If you want to say, all right, we're going to play Longwood versus St. Peter's, and we're going to play, I don't know, maybe it would be Long Beach State versus South Dakota State. Half of the games, like it is now, half and half. If you almost, I can almost listen to half of them being those 16s and a 15s, and then the other half being the last at larges.
I think the last at larges should definitely be there, but to Jerry's point, they're the teams that have the loudest voice in the room, coming from the power conferences.
Yeah,
and it's one that I know a lot of people have not like. There's also the other side of the debate with the 16 seeds that they should be in the bracket. Like you shouldn't put those teams in the first 4. Like they should get a chance to be in the bracket. They earned it, their automatic qualifier. But I do think there's just something legit about actually having a chance to win a game and being on a stage by yourself. So I'm not totally against it.
But not all of them.
16 seeds there.
Because they're going to start putting the 14s and the 13s in. I mean, these 14 seeds, that's Oakland. You know, people were on Moorhead State. Oh, and Colgate, Akron. Hell, Grand Canyon might have been in that position. You're right. All right, 505-246-0610. Play radio with us today. I want your thoughts on Richard Pitino staying with the Lobos, at least for now. JT Toppin up for Freshman of the Year nationally. And J.J. McCarthy climbing the draft boards, maybe being the second off the board. And what you said to me today, would the Chargers trade Justin Herbert to the Commanders for the number 2 pick and take J.J. McCarthy? It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck in D.C. Glad you're with us on a Thursday on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Well, tonight, although the coaching carousel will continue to spin, we just spoke with Jerry Palm from CBSSports.com. I haven't seen the report. Have you, JJ, that said definitively that Andy Enfield has left USC and gone to SMU, so that job's open? Because Jerry sounded surprised, didn't he, when I said it's rumored? He said it's not done yet.
Feels like it is one of those situations that it's going to happen. It's just not official.
It feels like, so the SC job's open. That's going to be a really interesting job to hire. But you got the news yesterday, right about now, a little after now, that Richard Pitino's name was not was out in the mix for the Louisville job. That Pat Kelsey, the College of Charleston coach, had taken that job, and that's where that was going to go. And so now what? And I want your thoughts on it. You were really vocal yesterday and the day before when it became apparent that it was possible that Richard Pitino would leave for that job. And again, I'll give you my thoughts on it. I think it's what most of your thoughts are on that. You didn't want to see Richard Pitino go, but you would understand, A, why he would have that conversation or conversations, plural, with Louisville. He's got a history there. He won a national championship as an assistant coach for his dad there. His dad's got, obviously, a lot of history, both good and not so good. He grew up basically in Kentucky, over in Lexington when his dad was at Kentucky. And it's an ACC job. There's 4 ACC teams, 4 left? And there's Clemson, and there's Alabama, and there's NC State, and there's North Carolina. There's four ACC teams left in the final 16. And the pay. I mean, yeah, he's making 1.2 million, and that's good money, man. Every one of us, if you were making $1 million, but it's a different world. And the coach who just got fired was making, 3.3? So you figure they're going to pay $3.5 to $4 million a year? Yeah, you listen. I don't think any of you are mad at him for listening and understanding. You're kind of bummed the situation you find yourself in. And at some point, you figure, well, it's probably going to happen. And you heard the rumors last year that South Florida offered him a job, $1.8 million, and he turned that down. And you got something going here, and you feel like you're on the rise, and you still are now, right? And I texted with Richard yesterday, and he'll be with us next Tuesday, and we'll talk about it. But so where are you now? Are you relieved? Are you reluctantly relieved? Like, where do you think people? You know what I'm saying? Like this almost reluctant exhale. Yeah, but when's the next one coming?
Next year.
You think it's next year? So you don't think there's another? His name's not up for another job this year, like before next season starts.
It could come up, but I don't think Richard Pitino is number one candidate. I think USC is.
Well, he wasn't the number one candidate for this one. He was a top candidate.
A candidate.
Yeah. Like, what if SC comes up? Is SC interested in him?
At this point, his name's going to be on the list because of the hires that have been made.
Yeah.
There's only so many more coaches you're going to go down to. Now, USC is the type of job, and they have the money that there could be a guy we're not even talking about that is on the list because of power conference money.
Okay, I don't think his name's going to be on the SC list. Okay, how about this? I don't think his name's going to be a serious candidate for the SC job, and I'll tell you why. This is where it would surprise me. I don't think Richard Pitino's going to be here forever. He doesn't think he's going to be here forever, and you're probably not going to want him here forever, okay? Richard's made it clear he wants to be at a place that really values basketball. That's a basketball school, right? And we had this conversation earlier. SC's had success in football and basketball, but I think when you think of them as a football-first school, correct?
Yes.
Does he want to go back into the Big Ten and be in a Minnesota-like situation? Now, Jeff, LA is not anything like Minneapolis. I get it. It's a lot warmer. There's more money at SC. and he would make a lot of money. Can you win at the level that I do believe he wants to win at USC going into the Big Ten?
The financial investment for USC basketball,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's very
significant.
competitive.
Yeah.
With it. The view of it being a football school is really interesting because I do think Richard Pitino is the kind of guy he wants to be at a basketball school.
Louisville's a basketball school. New Mexico's got the
Like when he talks about the Big East.
Yeah, they're basketball. There's no football.
Yeah, like that's his. I think that is something when you listen to him talk, the way he discusses New Mexico and the fan base, what it was like at Kentucky, what it was like at Louisville, is that's really important to him. I know you're right. They can be both, but I think he wants to be the guy at a basketball.
Yeah, and that's why I would be surprised if his name is up as a serious candidate at SC. Now, I guess nothing should surprise me. How about be mildly stunned? I don't know what's less than surprised, but not expected. What's in the middle between
mildly stunned?
Yeah, it's mildly surprised, mildly. I mean, I don't expect it, but I guess nothing should surprise you anymore. But how do you feel about it, right? And what you just went through, and I know there was so much emotion. I've read so much on the social media, and I think most of it was understanding where you are at frustration. And I know Jeff Apodaca, who ran for governor, who's a good friend of mine. He sits in a lot over on News Radio KKOB, and there's a post out there that was getting a lot of, and he sent me some stuff that, he thinks that New Mexico, the state of New Mexico, with all the money that's here, should invest deeply in athletics at New Mexico. And there was another post I saw that both, there's a 7-7 plan, $7 million a year for the next 7 years for athletics at New Mexico and at New Mexico State each. Right. And I'm glad, I think New Mexico State should be included on that as well if you're going to invest. They're both state universities competing at the Division I level. And so if you invested, over 7 is $49 million. And, where would that get you? Would you get you where you want? Obviously, we've talked about the capital improvements that I just think need to be done on football. And I know there's some of you who scream about the football stuff and invest in basketball. And I'm going to point you towards this. Success in football, JJ, and I know you and I differ a little bit on this because you think there's a ceiling, and I think you're not wrong. The reason Louisville is able to come at a coach and say, here's $3.5 million a year is because of football. Now, you're going to say, Jeff, they haven't had great success. They've had a little bit. They've had some, but they had enough success that they got themselves into the ACC, right? They were in the American. They got into the ACC. They got that football money. And as much as you don't like the conversation that football stirs the drink, and you're going to say, how does the Big East do it? How do those schools? Well, they're all private, faith-based institutions that are raising money and spending it. They're not. I mean, look at the Big East. There's no state institutions in there. Those are all private. St. John's and well, UConn is the outlier, right? But the rest of them, UConn, Marquette, Creighton, Seton Hall, Villanova, Providence, Butler, Xavier, Georgetown, DePaul, right? And so they're raising it's private funding and they don't have football to invest in, but they're getting the money elsewhere. The rest of them are look at what football's done for UCF, for Cincinnati, for Houston, right? And you're not wrong, JJ. Is there a ceiling? Is it past? Is New Mexico not getting into the Big 12? Or I don't know where expansion's going. I think you better make sure that if the Pac-12, those two teams absorbs whatever, you better make sure. And I think you're in a good position right now to be in that. But you better make sure you're in that, right? Football facility is, as much as you don't want to hear some of you, the part of the conversation about keeping your basketball coach, they're not as disjointed as you might think.
Football needs to be successful. Football can't be 2 or 3 wins every single year. It has to have its moment where it jumps up. Where I don't know about it is looking back on the 9-win season for Lobo football. And I think what hurt is at the end of the year, they had, I think it was like 2 of their last 3 games were on the road. And then when they played that Wyoming game, when they were still in the running, like there was a chance to play in a conference championship game.
And they scored 50-something points.
It was an 8-15 kickoff. And so Lobo football, when they had the ability to say, hey, we are playing good football, come out and support us, you're playing 8-15 game late in the season, and you're not getting the same crowd. So it hasn't lined up to where you've been able to see, is this community going to ever support a good football team? I've done this long enough. I'm not going to be upset if people aren't going to go out and watch a T1 football team. I get it. But we just haven't seen that moment where it lines up, where they're competitive enough, plus a kickoff time that's not 8:30 at night.
So I have, and I'll, because I don't think you're wrong on that. Let me give you one other piece of the puzzle that I do believe factored in there. I don't believe this community connected with that head football coach. That was Bob Davie at the time. And look, Bob and I always got along. I don't have any disrespect or any bad words for Bob Davie. He was good to our show, but I don't think this community ever connected with him. There was this whole he doesn't live here thing. There was this whole aura that he feels that he's better than this place. He was at Notre Dame. He lives in Phoenix. The whole, he used to say this place is so unique. Remember how he used to say it? And he didn't say like we are New Mexico. Like this is unique was like a hurdle. There were the allegations against him. Like, did you ever feel this community connected with him like they did with Rocky or with Danny?
No, I believe that there was a buzz with Danny, but they didn't back it up.
Well, they didn't win.
But they didn't go early in the year.
Yeah, they didn't win.
Now, what about that first year after COVID?
No, you're right. Where the fans
but
I will go back and again, I'm going back. I don't know why I'm in the Wayback Machine today, but you said I've never seen it when they win that they came out, but they did. In those years, the 97 year when again, I know that's the Wayback Machine, and we're talking 27 years ago at this point, or whatever it is. The year Franchione took them the Insight.com Bowl, and they played in the WAC championship. That place was full, man. People were coming out. When Rocky started winning to the point where it was, he won 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6 and 7 games a year, and they were going to bowl games. People were going out to Lobo football. Now, your point's right. They weren't playing at 8:30 at night in November, but they were winning games. I have seen it done. They have. My whole point is not why aren't you going out? You should go. That's not where I want to go with Lobo football. My only point on it, JJ, to bring it up, because I know why you feel the way you do, and you're not wrong. Football's got to get better when we start talking about investing. I know some people don't want to hear it. I read the whole soccer thing yesterday. They need to bring back soccer and skiing. I mean,
who's still saying that?
Well, the people who love soccer and skiing, right?
The people who didn't go to the games in the first place.
There was nobody
and are using it as a way to
reason to
throw shade at UNF.
100%. I think that's a such a slim minority. Yeah, I agree with you 1,000%. As successful as Jeremy Fishbine's program was, and at the end, it wasn't going to. They did go to 2 Final Fours. They did play for a national championship. So, and skiing did win national championship.
Yeah, because you know what they did? They tried to play harder competition. They took a step up, and it was an absolute challenge because the only thing I was available for them at that time was having to bounce around the East Coast in Conference USA.
Yeah, because nobody was playing in this league. No, I know. Look, I'm just telling you. I know where the conversation goes. All right, 505-246-0610. But my whole point is, I agree with the people who are saying invest. There is money. I saw a really good correlation. Investing in athletics is like investing in tourism. It helps your GRT. It brings exposure and business and money to your state. There's a reason, and I know people get so angry. Why do they sponsor athletics? Why are they spending so much? There's a reason. All these universities and schools sponsor athletics, and they're good for the schools.
Exactly. Like college athletics, as wild as it is, and the uncertainty and all the things we can discuss, it still brings a vibe and environment that is hugely impactful on campuses.
It's a marketing arm, man. It's an impactful.
And investing in athletics is investing back in your flagship universities of your state.
It's inarguable. Tell me what you would know about Butler University if you didn't know about their basketball team. What would you know about Gonzaga or Sandy? it's just the fact that San Diego State's admissions went up almost double from last year to this year because of their run in the NCAA tournament. Gonzaga's, Butler's, you talk about all these football teams, you wouldn't know Boise State even exists if it wasn't for their football team. That's why they do this. And if you can compete at another level, now all of a sudden people are coming in from all around the country. Well, we don't want them here. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. It's business. It's look, that's why everybody sponsors it. And if you're going to do it, then do it well and invest. And there is money in the state now. And this is a time to invest in your facilities and in your programs. And would you be able to keep Richard Pitino if you were able to offer him 2.5 instead of 1.5? No. If there's a job at 3.5, no. But you'd be more competitive. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Come on in. I want to hear your thoughts on athletics in general and investments. And look, this isn't something to go call the AD and yell at him. I saw a post and I agree with it. If the AD can give everyone a raise, I think he would. It's just limited resources, and you got to be careful. The International Protective Service continues to do amazing things. They heard you when you asked for their help to protect business and homeowners in Santa Fe. Lots of calls are coming in for service up there. So if you live in Santa Fe and you're concerned about threats to your property, call IPS. In Albuquerque, police response is still hours, especially for home or business break-ins. And in most cases, IPS is there within 7 minutes or less. They also install alarms and camera systems and then monitor those cameras 24/7 to raise the level of security around your home and business. You've noticed IPS officers at some local retail outlets. IPS is making a difference for them too, and they can help you as well. I've used IPS for years. They monitor my home on a daily basis, and when I'm gone, they do extra checks and they'll pick up packages and that sort of stuff, mail, newspapers, to make sure your home has that lived-in look. Your home's supposed to be a place of security, and if someone breaks in, it's devastating for that sense of security. You don't know when someone's going to break in. Let IPS keep your eyes on your home or your business around the clock. Call them at 505-897-2420, 505-897-2420, or online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe safer places to live and work.
Baseball is back in.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride barbecue chicken and ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Affects the family, the community. I can't even imagine, dude. I can't even imagine what they're all going through. First and foremost, deep love to that family, and you know, prayers and thoughts and love and sincerest condolences. You got players out there crying. It was their first game without Isaac. Yesterday they played El Dorado, and they're gonna name the scoreboard, I think, after him. And what they're all going through. I can't even imagine. You know, a healthy young man goes out for a workout and this tragedy. I know that community's hurting. I didn't want to just go without recognizing it. I'm not going to pretend I know or knew that young man or that family. But I know you joined me in this. Because we talked about it briefly. I just want to send love out to everybody associated with the Rio Grande baseball program, to his family, to those who loved him, because I can't even imagine what they're going through right now.
It's an unbelievable tragedy, and you know, these stories are so hard to wrap your head around when you have a young athlete just out there working out on the weekend, putting in the work, and ends like this. It's one that hard, because all of us sit back and just think about our loved ones and our little ones, and
you don't even think they're going to practice it. Dad, I'll be home after prime, and it happened yesterday again. All right, I got practice, and after prime, hey, what do you want to do for dinner? Like you just expect it. So Georgina Prado is his mom, and she was there and handed flowers, and just deep love, deep love and condolences to that family, to the Rio Grande baseball program, everybody at Rio Grande High School, everybody who knew this young man. I don't know how more to say it, how differently to say it, other than, we hurt for you, we feel for you, and sending our deepest condolences, and thinking about this young man and all those people who have to deal with it. Yeah, we're really, really sorry. Anyway, 505-246-06. I just didn't want to go without acknowledging what's going on there and what happened. Hey, speaking of a parent and all this, did you see LeBron James said and I can almost understand this. He said he got anxiety watching Bronny play for USC. And he kind of went on a little rant and ripped college basketball in general. But I can understand. Wait till your kid starts playing, dude. Like literally, I get more nervous at meets and at games than I think she does.
Oh, no doubt. That's where the whole chirping parents comes in from the stands. Is
right?
You're totally invested in it.
LeBron was on the Mind Game podcast with JJ Redick. He talked about why it gave him so much anxiety to watch Bronny play. He said, quote, "The NBA is the best league in the world. That's why it's hard to watch my son play college basketball. It's hard watching a 40-minute college basketball game. It's hard. I get more anxiety and I sweat more watching college basketball, especially with my son now, than I've ever done in my life." That was part of his quote. And then later he explained why the college game is becoming increasingly, in his eyes, harder to watch. Quote, this is LeBron James now. "I never understood why a coach will throw the ball into the post with his big with no business with the ball in the post. The only time the ball should go into the post with the big is if he automatically, as soon as he catches it, flattens the defense and goes right back into a DHO, dribble handoff, DHO uphill roll. If he's not a pocket passer, you can't throw it low to the rim, or it's not his job to just shrink the defense because his role is so dynamic. I watch college games. I see guys throw the ball in the post to guys, and they'll turn around, shoot a jump shot, or a running left-handed jump hook." End quote. That's his analysis of college basketball.
Well, it sounds like he did not like the forwards for USC.
He didn't like the way SC played basketball.
Not quite guys that you want to have the ball in their hands, and that's all dependent on who your post player is.
Yeah, I think that was a generalized. Look, I don't think it's any secret. The NBA game is a different game than watching the college game, right?
Yes, it is.
It just is. The talent's different. The skill level's different. It's just a different game. All right, so Bronny's got a decision. He could go into the draft. He could transfer. He could stay. LeBron said, quote, "It's up to him." It's up to the kid. Obviously, we're going to go through the whole process. He's still in season now as the Pac-12 tournament. This was a couple of weeks ago. We're going to weigh our options, let the kid make the decision, which is a big deal. He goes back to school, doesn't he, Bronny?
I think so. I think just for himself.
Right?
Because the only reason that Bronny would get drafted is because someone would think, hey, I just drafted Bronny, LeBron James, opt out and come play with your son. And I don't think that's fair to Bronny in this. Speaking of scary things, this dude collapsed on a basketball court before the season with a heart issue. I think the young man just needs a chance to play some basketball and find some consistency.
And to beat Bronny James, right?
And he wouldn't be going... And the reality of it is he would not be declaring for the draft going, no, I can do this. In the back of his mind, he's like, well, I'm declaring because of my dad.
Well, right. And there's money. And the reality is, and I watched him a little bit at the Pac-12 tournament. I mean, he's a nice player. He wasn't a guy that stood out on the court. Now, I don't know if that's because JJ he played limited time because of his health. But I got to believe
a huge thing to come back from.
I got to believe it's part of it, right? He was on an 8-12 in conference basketball team. They were 15-18 overall. Bronny James did not start for USC. He played in 25 games, played under 20 minutes a game. He averaged 4.8 points and 2.8 rebounds a game. If I told you that kid's name was Bron Buck, everybody's using you as an example. See, but if his name was Bradley Buck,
very good name.
And there's a dude that played 19 minutes a game at USC on a 15-18 team that averaged under 5 points and under 3 rebounds a game, and he's thinking about declaring for the draft. You're telling me what?
I'm just going to tell you that Austin Buck is going to be so much better than
no doubt.
JJ.
I have no doubt that kid's a stud. I watched him eat the heck out of that ice cream the other day. I got to believe he stays in school, but I could also see somebody in a draft, late first round, mid-second round, wherever, especially mid-second round. He's on the board. My team's pretty good. Damn, I'm taking him. Daddy opts out of his contract, comes plays with me. I got LeBron James, whatever. I mean, Bronny can sit on the bench. I don't care. But then LeBron's going to say, my kid should play.
Yeah. And then you get into that.
Then you got that.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're selling tickets. You got LeBron James. But it's interesting. I agree with him though on this, and I don't agree with him on a lot. man, watching your kid play, you sweat more, you're more nervous, you pace more, way more than when you play or when it's you, because you can't control it. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. All right, this came down just a few minutes ago, and it's kind of big news in Major League Baseball. Remember Wander Franco and all the charges that the sexual exploitation stuff? Major League Baseball on opening day has had its say. It's the opening drive. That's next on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Shot up good! The madness is here! Catch every high-profile game.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Winning will revive the program faster than anything else from Greek Freak, no doubt. Winning will revive the program faster than anything else. Okay. Here's your guy that hates me, and I'm self-serving. Annoyingly, the self-centered, self-serving sports media talking heads encourage and push for investments in their projects, UNM teams. Obviously, Jeff Heron wants the development of UNM football stadium because it helps and improves his project, the New Mexico Bowl. NMSU results show performance, not budget matters team, school-wise. Okay, you're right. You're right. Budget has no effect on success. And yes, New Mexico State has had success over the last couple of years with a bad budget. They've got a 2-year success, and 1 year they were.
And you know,
they needed
was part of them not able to continue that success. They didn't have a budget,
so they lost their coach, and they lost a lot of their players, and they lost their whole staff. And they had to start all over
because of facilities and things like that.
I mean, if you think it's all self-serving, look, man.
Dude, it's a sports animal. You're listening to the sports animal. We're talking about sports topics. Why are you that guy all the time?
Well, but that's who that guy is. So let me give you this. And
so he's done with that dope in his tweets. And you're being mean to me. It's a sports animal. We're talking sports.
But
what are you listening to?
But we're going to talk sports in a way that I think makes sense, right? So I know I took a lot of hits for not supporting the United initiative, the stadium initiative.
The initial plan wasn't supported by anybody,
except for the United and their supporters. But I thought it was poorly constructed. The way it was presented to the public on the ballot. I think it's great they're going to get a stadium. I didn't support that one. I took my hits for that. So I'm not going to just blindly support. But if you know this guy, I'm self-serving and you're whatever, dude. Go live your life and do
global
your thing.
Athletics affects a lot in the sports community.
Yeah.
It is the major talking point for us here on the Sports Animal. Is the direct investment of the sports fans that listen. What they do is they attend games, they buy tickets, they support Lobo Athletics or Aggie Athletics, whatever we be talking about that.
Well, and I just want you to look around.
And I'm sure if you wanted to listen to Bob Clark this morning, KKOB News Radio might be talking about politics that will serve their self-interest as what they talk about.
All right, I tease
breaking news.
Yeah, I tease this going to the break. Baseball opening day. So Wander Franco has been placed on administrative leave through June 1st. There was an agreement between the Players Association and Major League Baseball. This is that criminal case. You're like, Wander Franco, what did he do? I remember there was something. This is that case where he was alleged to have a sexual relationship with a 14-year-old girl in the Dominican Republic. 14. The agreement, according to sources that are multiply reported now, Franco's status with Major League Baseball will change if there are further developments in the case. Prosecutors allege that he broke sexual exploitation and money laundering laws, but he's not yet formally been charged. Sources are telling people familiar with the judicial process, evidently, that Franco told ESPN there have been no significant changes and they continue to carry out the corresponding investigations. There's no date on which they plan to file a formal accusation. I mean, this thing, either they got the evidence or they don't they, right? This one's weird, dude. He's 23 years old. He was an all-star last year. He spent 6 weeks on administrative leave at the end of last season. There were allegations he had sex with this teenage girl when he was 21. 21, was she 14 then or is she 14 now? The violating domestic violence, sexual assault, child abuse policy. He's going to make his $2 million despite not reporting to training camp. He's under contract through JJ. I mean, this is insane. This is a guy who was an up-and-coming star. His contract ran through 2032. That's 8 more years. He's owed $174 million. He's in the DR over the winter. This story, and again, I hate jumping to conclusions, but when you read allegations, when you hear allegations, you hear this kind of stuff, don't you just kind of cringe? Isn't it just, I mean, of course. I know you got a son, but dude, if you're a human being, somebody's got a 14-year-old daughter that was, what? So baseball made a move today on opening day. I guess they had to do something, right? Because opening day today. Another big story that hit this week. remember the story of Jonte Porter. Jonte Porter, who's that dude? That's the Toronto Raptors player who didn't play this week. He was investigated because there was irregular betting activity. He's Michael Porter Jr.'s brother. Michael Porter Jr., he's a star, right? Would you say Michael Porter Jr. is a star of the Nuggets? Good player? How do you define him? Player? Star? Michael Porter? All right.
NBA champ.
All right. Michael Porter Jr. Said that he's sure his brother did not and would not do anything to jeopardize his NBA career. Remember, Jonte's accused, or at least being investigated. I don't think he's accused of anything yet. There were 2 games where an irregular amount of bets came in on prop bets on Jonte Porter. The unders on his point total, on his rebound total, on his 3-point total. And in both of those games where there was an irregular amount of action, Jonte Porter left the game early and hit all the unders. First one, he left with an aggravation of an eye injury. The second one, which was last week, he left with the flu or flu-like symptoms. So Jonte is still under investigation. Michael Porter took the podium last night after the Nuggets lost to the Phoenix Suns. And he was asked about the probe involving his brother. He said he had no more details than the media does, but he did vouch for his brother, his younger brother. Quote, Jonte loves the game of basketball and has been thrilled to play for Toronto on a 2-way contract this season. I've known my brother my whole life. I know what type of dude he is, and I know he's excited to play basketball. I highly doubt he would do anything to put that in jeopardy, end quote. Now, Jonte hadn't said anything publicly. He did miss the last couple of Raptors games because they're citing personal reasons. I got a sick feeling about this one. Didn't end well. I don't know. It's a feeling, and I don't want to accuse him of anything. But man, when these guys see a red flag, and he pulled his name, this is circumstantial. I get it.
Yeah, this one's super fishy. This how specific it was for the size of the player prop bets that came in,
the amount,
the games that he did not finish because due to injury or not feeling good,
and who he is, man. It's just a random dude to be betting on.
And that brings up too. And you see what the NCAA was?
They're trying to ban prop bets.
They want to ban player prop bets.
Yeah.
For college athletes, and I don't think that's something that
I don't have.
They're going to get across the board, though.
But I don't have a problem with it.
Specific player prop bets is a huge piece of that market because that is something that just basic bettor can get on.
But that's something that is so absolutely controllable by one person.
Yep.
And you have this allegation, and if it's proven to be true, it's just too easy to exploit and scary in regards to the integrity of the game. I don't know that I have a problem if you would ban those prop bets, and I know the houses would. The books would, because it's, to your point, it's such a big part of their business and it's such a big part of what they do. But I think, they would have a huge problem with that because how much money are they taking in regards to that? All right, what do you want me to do? You want to take the break or go to the phone? All right, Daryl, you want to get in on this. Good morning, Daryl. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up, Daryl?
Yes, I'm an Oregon Duck, and we've been out here a few years, but up until the late 80s, Nike was not a big part of the University of Oregon.
Yeah.
In fact, the track team was outfitted in Adidas because Dellinger had a contract with them. But it took the president of the university to kind of kiss up to Phil a little bit to bring him back into the fold. And at that point in time, Knight started donating big-time money for library, law school, stadium expansion, basketball arena. So here in New Mexico, they need to find one big benefactor to get all this stuff rolling. Because after Phil started donating money, then they got Pat Kilkenny to build a baseball field and all this other stuff. I'm sure there's enough money in this state that other people would kind of fall in line and say, yeah, we kind of like the way things are going. We have to spend money in order to make money for these places.
It's done for
and
the
I'm
university.
not sure that's what's going on.
Yeah, I was up at on that campus at Thanksgiving, and Look what it's done to the university as a whole, the enrollment, what it's done for the image of that university, certainly their sports programs, but the enrollment has gone up, the applications have gone up, and hence the profile, the profitability, everything about that university's success has gone up since Phil Knight's got involved in athletics. I mean, it's a great example.
Yeah. Well, everybody was up in arms when Bill Byrne, the athletic director, decided to build skyboxes at Austin Stadium. But he knew that, okay, if I build these, then people are going to spend money for the PSLs, and then more folks are going to come into the fold. And so it was really interesting how all of that played out. And, you know, my wife and I are thrilled, both being alums. But I think New Mexico could do the same thing. I mean, there are enough high-profile alums that could kind of step in here and really take part in fundraising and donation and stuff to get things going.
No, it's a great point, man.
So
Appreciate your call. I got to hit this break, Daryl. Thank you for the call. Don't be a stranger, please. All right, Daryl, he called at 505-246-0610. You can as well, but it's give me a better example. I mean, when Oregon invested in athletics, I know that if you're of a certain age, you don't remember Oregon never not being a big player, right? But I was up there this last Thanksgiving. Their facilities, their campus is gorgeous, dude. The track facility is second to none in the world. And what they did, it invested in it, and it worked for them. It's the opening drive. Jeff JJ on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families Indy Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
On tap, games to watch all day starting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Starts with the Angels and Orioles, your typical first day of baseball. Angels and Orioles. Then you get the Sweet 16 tonight. We'll have it here on the Sports Animal, your home for March Madness from the first four to the Final Four. Clemson, Arizona will start things off. It is a 5:09 tip. Where are they at? They're in, I don't even know where things are. They're in the West. That's in L.A. And then you get San Diego State and UConn in Boston at 5:39. Then Alabama and UNC, Carolina and Alabama. The winner will play the Clemson, Arizona winner. And then the late night game, Illinois and Iowa State. That will be scheduled tip at 8:09. That one is in Boston.
I remember just a week ago, I was actually thinking, could I get out to L.A. next week?
Remember that? Yeah, the Lobos are going to be there.
Seems so long ago.
They're going to play Steve Alford in Nevada. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, because that was exactly what I had predicted, not having any fun or anything.
New
That
Mexico.
people would be like, you idiot.
Yeah, New Mexico versus Nevada. And neither one got out of that first round. Steve Alford's name's still up for the Oklahoma State job.
Steve Alford posted.
I saw that.
You see the social media post,
we're
happy here at Reno. Looking forward to continuing and try to build a championship team. But that's all, stuff to just hold back people. It's never done until it's done, until someone officially signs a contract somewhere.
Well, he said everything but I'm staying. Didn't he? I mean, literally said everything but I'm staying. Now, I see all kinds of names up for that job. That used to be a great job, Oklahoma State, didn't it? I mean, Eddie Sutton was there for a long, long time. They were really, really good. And they had a lot of success. There's all kinds of names. Mike Boynton's name is up for that job. Bryce Drew is still considered like this. Bryce Drew loves Grand Canyon, I think, but I think everybody loves money. And as much as Bryce Drew has built something special there and gets paid, he's an interesting name. Nico Medved's name, the Colorado State coach, has been all over this job. And
at some point in time, you're going down the list and the names are going to come back up. And you brought it up a little bit earlier, and it doesn't mean that there's not going to be a story that somehow, some way, when all these guys are writing who's available, who could be candidates, that Richard Pitino's name doesn't pop up on some search, and then here we go again.
Look, man, would it surprise you said Oklahoma State's called Richard Pitino?
No, because some of these schools are going through the Rolodex like, who's left?
Well, I mean, look, yes. Tell me, where are you on Will Wade? Will Wade has been successful everywhere he's gone. He was pushed out at LSU. He's 41 years old. Big recruiting violations at LSU. He went to McNeese, served his 10-game suspension. They won 30 games this year. By all accounts, people seem to like him. He can coach his backside off. I mean, does he jump 1 year to McNeese, get fired at LSU 1 year at McNeese, and jump back into a power job?
It's absolutely possible. When you look at the things that he got hit for, and the FBI was coming down on a whole bunch of different coaches across the board, it was the money, the shoe deals, things like that, which you can do.
I wouldn't put that past. I mean, look, there's candidates. Nico Medved there feels right too. That's just what this league is, man. And what did we say after the tournament? If this league can keep their coaches, Alfred Medved, Leon Rice, Richard Pitino, Brian Dutcher. I think Brian Dutcher's kind of solid, although his name's going to be up for that SC job. Even though there's like a $10 million buyout, the SC job, the names I'm seeing, Brian Dutcher's like at the top of that list. San Diego State. Aztecs play tonight. They get UConn. You get to listen to it here on the Sports Animal. Thanks to Jerry Palm for being with us today. From CBS Sports, Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is here at 4, and then you get the March Madness. It starts at 5 o'clock. We're back tomorrow morning with award-winning radio beginning at 7 a.m. Adrian, great job on your end. Great work over there. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing, and we'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Murcia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay. Thank you.